Tanga zon di ngela ni jimbala paja tugu no jimbala sopa jete sonsmare. Trinda ne mala ni soten gol lejon dus. Anitni
So having finished the first four perfections, of giving and so forth, so we now continue with the teaching on the perfection of concentrations.
Ta trindane mitni te tsawa dum jene ni ta te shindo de jina shia ta betina chi yisra.
So I'm going to explain this the perfection of concentrations by referring to the verse, the root verse, and keeping my explanations brief.
Teon tsawane kaneresena shinerat dembi lonto kis nyembu nomba nyomba shishine zume jile yuto nembai sote gomba jase lole yisine tani yisushon dus.
So to quote the root verse, which is now I think it's 29th, reads, "Understanding that disturbing emotions are destroyed by special insight with calm abiding, cultivate concentration which surpasses the four formless absorptions. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas."
Tati tendo karishegun sena ne giwe mipala sense chinnepi shine ne tela tene ne ta londo se tuni tu pishara tiga ne koe tawa chiwe mari pala sopa ne nyemu pa no ne jotapa ne re sunguyor tan jotapa re sunguyor res sieto moni tiga.
So from this verse, on the first two lines, so we understand that how by depending on the concentrations, so which here is the a single pointed state of mind, and depending on that, and then the cultivating the wisdoms of emptiness, then then we are one is then in a position to really to remove or to get rid of all the mental afflictions, from their very root, and as well as all the imprints or the propensities of or the tendencies of these mental afflictions.
The shipa ngaso shipa shene ni nta shiro nomba chichiga ni ta shinela tene sote goya tene zume jil tene yore tene ga tawo mayimba ani santa ani ta kowe ga tsawa mariba ngupi lonto to ani shinda ani ta runi chiwo shite tene longopi ta nji chimbola supi tu chewa chinji sambi ga kone ani tingyen to ni gong res ne ani tani sungu res.
So in this verse we also understand that the how after we having understood the benefits of gaining these combined a state of of the calm abiding and the special insight, having understand this benefit or the qualities of the combinations of this calm abiding and special insight, then we must, what he's saying here is that we must ensure that these, we have to use these meditations to go over, to go above the what is called here as the four, like the formless absorptions, 4 levels of formless absorptions. So so by doing that, so by going above, by transcending these 4 formless observations, then one is, we are making sure that we don't fall into this, what is called as the 2 extremes. That's on the one hand, the extreme of the existence, which is like a samsaras, which is to falling into samsara, and other one is the extreme of like a nirvanas, which is the like a passive, nirvana of like self liberations.
Deota Jimbala Supi Jesel, J Jeselane, so that you pass over it. That is a give Zekarsena, Jimbala Supi passes Jeteyon, true that thing ends at all. Only that Shinela Supi, Sambaina, only Gewala Super Khan Shenayo, only Sashi Chewato, Shuchawa Yellow Yores, Tigisitela Tenene, Jimbala Supi J Jesel, so that you pass the she and use.
From the fact that the explanations on this the perfection of concentration and the wisdom is given after the first 4 like the perfections. So what that is to indicate is to say that we must conjoin these 2, the concentration and wisdoms with the first 4 the perfections, and so by doing this, so by conjoining these next 2, then the concentration and the wisdom, then the engaging in any of the other 4 perfections, then they become very powerful, very effective, and becomes very particular, very skillful also.
Ane achi leka shu chumbo izoku na makachele ni tacha chumbo jile sonani ta leka te shu chewan ju pa zoto yorwa o teno jire de yores.
So it's like the conjoining or combining the last 2 perfections with the other 4 perfect the first 4 perfections. So it's like just as how if we have to travel to a distant place, then we, if we fly, we get there, fastest. And likewise, if we have to undertake a very, like a huge task, we can do it faster, do it easier if we have hands of the many other peoples. So so this is what the benefits of these last two perfections towards all the other 4 perfections.
penats semol ani chemen da woji pane ni 중국 ngil rimu tibi ngil rimu da woji tawa ina ani mame wo se wo mewa che chemete wo se wo shira mewa che ani luna wo te chi padigi tsugi che de na ani tindi ge tibi ge rimu de shira se wo ji to ta go ma wa de zatni da demete wo se wo ji do lapa wo mewa ina ani te tibi rimu de se wo tong go yo wa de no ji ge ani shine da ni lonto ge dingen ji ge tindi ge 맞추지 레토와이나 아니 사실 치워왔더니 이사레스.
We find in the Lamrim teachings, so that about this the where there's analogies of these how if we have to in a dark rooms, if we have to see clearly all the like this. Let's say if there's any drawings on the wall, and then let's say if there's a butter lamp, then it is only we could see it only very clearly if the lamp the light is very bright, as well as that there is no it is the lamp is not fickle, by the wind. So there should not be any wind to fickling the lights. So in a similar way, this was the benefits that how just as if the light of the lamp is bright, as well as there's no disturbance of the movement of the wind, then we can see the drawing or the image of the wall very clearly. So this is to say, this is to imply, this is how the important of this the benefits of these two perfection of concentration and the wisdoms for our practice.
제장안에 드니 페이지에서 치메테 류기 무효와 템보에 빠테 니 신에도 페이지안에 수준데 니 마베 싸고에 와테 니 론토를 페이지안에 순거래서 so in these analogies, so the bright light of the butter lamp of the lamp, so is likened to a wisdom or this special insight, and whereas the butter lamp light's been very stable, so is likened to being not wavered, not having any disturbance of the wind in the for that also. So that's like the single pointed concentrations. Wana ani shine ta wotela yite tando jiye waina ani shine korong ngo kande ji yorla na ne ta rongi mi pala che chit ne denge ga chitan dende ta rongela de bi kuzo de chitan dende ta ani ne tnge ga ni shijong ji dewa simbi ga ni tingyen zi la ani shine se gan de yus.
Okay, so now if we focus, if we talk about the meaning or the descriptions of this the calm abiding state of meditations, then it is described as a state of meditations where the mind is where there is a single pointed focus, and also there's an ability to remain in that focus as long as meditative wishes, and also the meditations is a state. This is also like accompanied, by the some what you call as some experience of fluencies or suppleness. So that's we understand the full meaning or the descriptions of this calm abiding state of meditation.
제장하다 시동원의 신의 생애대니 맞아 싫어봐도니 도모하레스 싫어봐라고 신의 요래 맞을라 요래신 집바레스 이나 맞아 논발 신나와 이나니 시안디 사소나니 맞아 논베가 도모 많이 받치어네 거래 아니 대용이 시안디 상황 맞아 대용 연주 사소나 네 타와도 이게 저런로다 대용 연주도 현주지 생이게 사소나 아니 도지 집이 그 저런로 아니 동들이 용거에서레스.
So this the calm abiding is as a very high level state of concentration. So it is also common to some non-Buddhist tradition as well. So therefore when someone gain this state of calm abiding state, now what things that make it qualify this calm abiding state as a state which is as we mentioned in the Buddhist literatures. So is if that person has the refuge, is taking refuge in three jewels. So if he has that, if you achieve that state of calm abiding within this practice of taking refuge, then that state is the we can call, then it's the like a Buddhist calm abiding, which is if you like, the Buddhist calm abiding. And then in addition to taking refuge, so if the person have qualified, it is qualified with the cultivation of like renunciations, right? Renunciations, and then and because of that, then this calm abiding then actually become a effective cause to achieve the state of liberations, from suffering existence, and then furthermore, on top of these, the renunciations, then if it is also conjoined with the bodhicitta mind, then it becomes an effective cause to achieve complete enlightenment of a state of Buddhahood.
당아도 디고는 줌 자와도는 줌에 질레 우토안 대파이스네 네 줌에 시에정데 왔다네 줌에 생에테 가르리세노 맞죠 눈베 유네니 컴텔란 데베코 줌케 줌에 가서네 소시고요레 디누고 네 줌에 고시바데레스.
So now in the root verse, in the last two verse, where we come across the word formless, the four formless absorptions. So now formless here, absorption. So it is talking about the relating, like in the Buddhist scriptures. So sometimes the world is divided in terms of like three realms, like the desire realms, form realms, and formless realms. And lost.
제장아 네 덴코텔라니 라도마 라마이 네 냐와이 또 던도스네 니 코 트위죠 거레스.
And so we have the of 3 realms. So and then furthermore the desire, when you say desire realms, then it can be be categorized in terms of like 6 levels, of the desire realms, such as like the 3 upper levels, which is like the godly levels of the godly beings, and then you have a demigod, and then the human, and then in the 3 lower realms, which has the animals, hungry ghosts, and hell beings. So then just as the desire realms is split into 6 levels, and then we also find that the form realms it can be then divided into like 17 levels, and then the formless realms. So as it is mentioned here, so there are 4 levels.
시단에 닌 대화때 생겼다는 때에 둥아 모아다 니 세튜하다 아니 드니 따고래 텔레니 준코 줘와다 텔레주 니 주메 대화 채워야 봐 아니 드니지 주는 시고요 그래서 가서로 내면 거지라와 내면 거때 내 모아다 세튜하다 라수파티니 다 둥아 라파 뭐지 텔레니 준코 let's try right tele zume go test try the niga
so this the category, one of the reason why all this the worldly system is categorized in all these different realms. So the one reason which we can understand is that when you make a comparison with one and to one realm to the another level realms. So for example, when you compare the desire realms to the one level which above that is the form realms. So desire realms, so there is more suffering, more cases of the diseases, and then the lifespan is like a shorter, but there's more sufferings. And in comparison with the form realms, but then when you compare the form realm to the formless realms, then there's a more sufferings, there's more disadvantages in the formless realm compared to the formless realms.
제장 저거네 소대스로 다 소대 공지자라 아니 가지가 내와를 좁았다 아니 줄 셔왔다네 니 신내티 응우네니 다 드리고 띵연서 거네 니 줄시야 다시체 가지네 줄시데나네 드리고 디용네 주메테 셔와다 니 주테 라파지토네 드리고 띵연서라테네 니다 주멜시야 다시체네 드니 신내티 응우네 띵연서 드니서 광고요레스로
So as mentioned earlier, so we can we understand that there's a more higher level of peace and happiness on the higher realms. Therefore there are some practitioners. For they, in order to born into the higher realms, like for example, to born from the desire, to go from the desire to the form realms, so they can create a cause, through achieving for example, through achieving this calm state of calm abidings, and through that meditations, applying that through calm abiding meditations, so they would kind of reflect upon all the defects, defects or the faults of the desire realms, whereas their focus is on the form realms, such as as I said, there's so many different levels. For example, the different levels of concentration. So they will say the first concentration level. So they see that as the peaceful one, and that is a perfect one, and so through in a sense, so through this calm abiding, utilizing the calm abiding meditation, so they can create a causes where they can go to that. For example, the first concentration level of the form realms, and then however, but then some dissatisfied with all the experiences of the bliss or the peace in the form realms, so they look for they seek to go to the formless realms, which is as I said before, which is in terms of the peace and happiness and the bliss or the joy, which is much deeper and higher. So again, in that case, so they use that calm abiding meditations to and seeing through with that meditation, and then they recognizing the form realms as a very gross and a very lot of defective, and then they create a cause to go to the formless realms.
Chetangani ti nungse chane zume layo zume nere jesentin yore jelayo koranzo nunul tome yore tinsa koranzo gumal rapata kumal shawatane ane tanizo tingenzo gonen ro yores.
And then of course, the formless realms, so within that, so there are, as I said before, there are 4 different levels. So the level which is below is, of course, is has a less peace and less, blissful experience than the level which is, above that. So there's 4 levels. So therefore, again, to this calm abiding meditation could be directed according to if you want to go to the higher level of that formless realms. So then you need to see the grossness of the coarse grossness of the level 1, the level below, and or the level where you are in, but to see the subtlety of the level above.
Teno jene ta gonza te gewa reteo inayo tawado toji chimbi go jalan ruyo mares. Tawado toji chimbi jalan ruyo mares rawa. Ten za ta nga tu tsawe ge tsignu ne zume jile udon depa yisene. Zume pa jeti koranzu nongkil gomba telen dene. Ane ta ngenju do ane shonju yi senchi sambi gone gong kore. Te shego yo res.
So therefore, now if you, when we take into account of all these different levels, so as like within the formless realms, so there are 4 levels, So even though all of these 4 levels, the experience of all those levels are much higher compared to the of the formless experience of the form realms, or even not to mention the experience of the desire realms, but yet even if your experience reach to the 4th level or the highest level of the form realms, but it is still that experience is still the experience of or the peace and the bliss that you experience is still within this the sacred existence, and so you have not yet gone beyond that. You have not yet achieved the liberation of the nirvanas. So therefore, we could understand. When it says here that, cultivate the concentration which surpasses the four formless absorptions. So you have to surpass the four formless realms, formless absorptions, in order to achieve liberations, and for this, as I mentioned earlier, that we need to cultivate like the renunciations and so on.
당 코아 시거니 둥가달라 니 인주셰트고 말레스 니 코아 코로 농퀴라 니 찔라파타 찔셔와타 드니졸 따데르마도 코아 시기 둥가달라 니 인주셰트고 말레 대인자니 타요게 저런고요 말레스.
So when those beings who work on trying to gain the higher level or the higher experience or within the cyclic existence, right? We can see how they do go through the stages of where they can kind of reflect on the disadvantage of the various levels, some levels of the worldly existence or of the samsara. So, but they only, when you think about it, so the reflection or the recognition of the sufferings and which is all related to some individual levels, individual realms within the cyclic existence. So, however, so it is in a sense that they do have some sort of cultivate some sort of experience of renunciation, but which is only with regard to the some specific levels or the realms within the cyclic existence. So therefore, however, they lack this the understanding of the sufferings of samsara or this worldly existence in general.
Tenoji nga so chepare nga so la chitang dunga la san shigyawa dunga njiwi dunga chawanda ji dunga sene ne njiwi dunga ni la ngema juwa sonchi ne tini ngenju te ne tawe jil rogo mare ta ngenju shewa la inji mechi ne chawanda ji dunga sene ne koran la ngenju shig gone ne ta tawe jil rogo doas.
So likewise, so if we think of our own understanding of this the truth of sufferings, and then there are with regard to the types of sufferings. So there are one way is there are three types of sufferings, like the suffering of change, and the pervasive, suffering of conditionings. So all pervasive, as the suffering of conditionings. So now, of these three, we may have some sort of understanding of the, for example, the suffering of sufferings, or maybe even a bit of suffering of change, and because of that, so we do we do not want that, and we want it to be ourselves to be free of those two types of sufferings. But however, most of us, we lack this third type of suffering, that is the all-pervasive suffering of conditions, which we lack, and so therefore, which is also so without understanding that, without understanding that, so we won't have a thought or aspirations to free ourselves from that sufferings. So therefore, we cannot without that, so we cannot really, cultivate a true renunciations, the total renunciations, with respect to this achieving liberation from cyclic existence.
대노지가네 토지 쳔베가 토픽 다스 토지 쳔바세가 소지스 아니 토픽 제른로라나 이네 쇼주 이산다 닌제 쳔몰라 소비가 상거요레스 딘디가 다 띵에서 제로 시넬라 소파테 아니 토지 쳔베가 제른로라 아니 다 대원 이제 쳔모도 아니 다 쇼주 이산라 소비가 상거요레스
so the so we understand that how to make this the state of calm abiding as a cause to for achieving liberations. So it must be it must be conjoined with the true sense of renunciations, and then in order to make that as a cause to achieve not just this individual or liberations, but to achieve the complete enlightenment state of Buddhahood, and then beside the renunciation, so then it must be conjoined with the great compassions and bodhicittas also.
도다나타 나초티 소소 등을 두베시다 타와라 타와 토베시다 시넬 곰바이난다 아니 세제 등가 토시 곰바이난다 간지나 메나니 나초 차완드지 등가스니 코와생이데 아니 인제 돼야되니 개체모지래 샤드스 코와스니 다 차완드지 등가지어와 아니 텔은 인제 다 돼야 고야되니
So in brief, so what we find here is to whether our aim or our wish is to whether to achieve the liberation or the complete enlightenment, complete enlightenment. So in other case, so we must recognize the the third type of sufferings, which is called as the all-pervasive suffering of conditions. So that's very important to in order for to direct, in order to make this calm abiding as a cause to achieve liberations.
Then kuandanga choti dunga dembeshi bikasala dunga la sanshine dunga ji denung dunga tunjewi dunga to chawanda ji dunga sanshe bare dirune dunga ji dunga tunjewi dunga ni la tetsingi zal helares ani chawanda ji dunga de ji karawyare tengin ji teni kechimoyres.
So as I mentioned earlier, so we need to reflect on those the three types of sufferings, and especially the third ones, and because the first two, which are the suffering with suffering and of the change, which are not that compared to third one, which is much easier to recognize.
차완드지 dunga데 dunga에 방이서도 때 레모 레니온 기슈와 롱메바 당가 좀 리포트 예차위지 규텔 롱메바 아니 첸델 차잖아 베나 롱메바데 시와 가와 나와 쳐와라서 롱 치네요 말아 아니 든지지 아니 롱메바 대요니 니엠보 온기가 임바 레도 니엠보 온기 임바 든지인도 보지 그 인스타나 야고 있어서
So to this one way, so we can recognize the all pervasive sufferings. So that is to see that how we are talking about the existent, which is for which we have no like a control over. We have no freedoms. So because that it was under the existent, it has taken place, due to the power of the mental afflictions and the karmas, and like for example, if you think as a pervasive, the kind of life that we have taken at the moment in this, within any cycle existence. So we recognize that how we didn't take this birth by choice, because rather this birth was like kind of happened by the power, due to the power of the karma and the mental afflictions or the clashes, and then all this and with that and in that birth, and that again we do not have any control over, such as the all this unwanted like a suffering of like birth, aging and sickness, and so forth. So these are all kind of comes with that birth, without any choice, for us. So that's the indication of the all-pervasive sufferings.
Mangashega Taninda, the Tawada, Ane Chetsati Koale Trasaris in the Yoris. And then Rungotano Tropino de Ganja did it, and Koala Trasanges, Rehes in the Langi Yoris. The Sonata and Koa Korong Nimas and Biguni, Agenda already Yoris.
So, and sometimes people get this the wrong notion that when someone who when someone become a monk or nun, it's like they have now left samsara behind, or when they isolate, when they retreat themselves in an isolated place, and then they think they have left the cycle existence, left the samsaras. So that, as you can see here, is the completely misunderstanding, of the what the samsara really is.
Chitangane, Tangazoti Kanjin Dodawaina, Tanginju to Shunji Senching, Nicolan Gune, Nishineda, Nita, Shineti, Mune, Nita, Tanjiga, that Tojichimotal Betishawaina, Ni Soga Jiran Mate, Ni Tsendela, Sel Heledo, Ni Mute, Dano Damajungu.
So now we talk about how this calm abiding meditation could be, how it can be translated into a cause for us to effective cause to achieve liberation, or even a complete enlightenment, and now not only that, we can also understand that the calm abiding, if we gain this state of the calm abiding. So even within this very lifetime, even in this immediate time frames, it can be a very important, effective tools to enhance peace and happiness also.
다 진짜 가르치는 챈델 지부 용거잖아니 맞을 챈델 뭐시 받지 강가로네 새 시로도 좋아할 때 될할 때는 노도 뭐지 주네 아니 세마트네 니다 뭐시 받고요 와서 대인자 진에도 졸라 때네 새 노도 듣다 봐지 용거요래 새라 롱때 더래 대인자 아니 다 노도 뉴런 좋아이자네 새시 뭐 용거래서
So in this our current experience, we can understand that one of the main main source of why we sometimes we feel very restless, we feel very stressed and very anxious and so on. So the agitated or due to the distracted mental distractions, which in our mind, and or some sort of disturbing thoughts filling our mind, and so therefore now the calm abiding, through when we engage in meditation, and if we are able to cultivate this state of calm abiding, then through this meditation we can overcome or get rid of all these all these mental distractions or the disturbances, and so therefore this can, as a result, as a benefit of that, we can immediately find more the peace and happiness within ourselves.
Ona dash netela tene ni gewachi dawa ina tniga la chimboda ane tni sachi chimboji yewa ina ane ona shinete khandes toku resne tniji jewa ina ane shinetela ne nyapa nga ponda she jesne nyapa nga ponda she jede bigone ne shinete tsuchi ane ta sene bi ta gala tene ne shinete tsuchi ni tniga ni shores.
So after the going over all this now the benefits of the this calm abiding, and now the next question will then of course will be is then how can we achieve that this state of calm abidings. So now regarding this, how we achieve this calm abiding, so then there's a mentions of, first of all, recognizing the some of the men the obstacles or the fault for the of the calm abiding meditation. So recognizing what are those faults and which are the listed as a 5 faults of or the 5 the hindrances, and we need to recognize that and then to as the remedy or as an antidote to overcome these 5 faults, and then they talk about the 8. There are 8 mental 8 remedies. And then there's also mention about when we talk about the cultivations or the development, gradual development of the stages of the development of the calm abiding. Then there's mention about the 9 stages of the mental abiding, 9 stages of mental abiding.
대원다 신의 등에 그다 내 동보와지나 아니 시이 고유대 배 아니 개침부지 저거에서래 배나네 맞oti 시타 신샤트로면서 아니 소식이 치슈 솔론도 니파 대조 매위 내가서 네 실루를 시샤 자소나니 샘바팅 거를 오메 번로셔로 그러와 대인자 드니그 배 내외바스 그라 시라 시샤면서 드니질 아 저기ste 개침부 인사래서
So there's also we also to in order to cultivate this karma abiding meditation. So we should also take into account of what are the suitable conditions which can help us, which can make this which can facilitate this the meditation better, and then one it is said that one very especially for as a beginners. So as we are so our mind can be so easily disturbed, and so therefore it is recommended that we find for the calm abiding meditation. So it is recommended to find a quiet environment, where there is no much the free from hustle bustles and free from the noises. It is said it's very make it very such quiet environment will make it suitable for the meditations.
유년은 이 된지가 예때라니 예때가도 된게 예지 그거래스네. 드니스인데스.
So in the text, so there's a list of 5 favorable conditions for cultivating karma abiding loss.
대원이 동보텔라니 세도 길라소비 네 녀래라와 아니 제예라소비 못디죠도 아니 제제라소비거든이다 내와 뉴와
so to ensure that the place which you choose to for the meditation, so where all the foods, and the basic necessities, foods, clothing, all those are easily accessible. So that's one, and also the second, which is to ensure that the place is safe from there's no such the potential like a threat to one's life from wild animals and so on.
대원에다 사대 사자 대원에 지지 사와 첨보다 아니 지지 내세 첨보들이는 먼저 첨보나자 내세를 하고 여러와 드니그 내세 레라고스 니 매매 사이게 아니 다 소소소 곧 주보나 되죠 소소소 따와도 등에 아니 드니다 내다 아니 년코라 되니 비도 세모대절 비 그다치모 메사다 디칸 지시에서 드니도 오지시나 해 보여르습니다. 레톰보아 되지세.
So these are all the favorable condition or the factor for meditation. So these are all are recommended, especially for beginners. And then such as the third is to to ensure that the place where you do has a moderate a weather, climate, if it's not too hot or too cold, and something which can if it's the bad weather, bad climate, prone to a bad climate, so it can the the can easily brings more like infectious diseases and so forth. So so these things need to be considered. The environment, the climate, like in terms of temperatures, and the hygienes and so on, and then the fourth, which we discussed before, and then the ensuring that the place is isolated, from the noise, both during the daytime as well as at night time. It's there's no such, it's the cause of noise.
언제 장하다 드니그 내진 조선아 드니그 내텔라 된다 소소 당가 좀 디ኛ는 고한자는 시 노지레 네 리친 둘라 제라 소파 드니요 아니 드니치네 마 드네 된다 고자이레스 뭐서 고자와노 시치네 고자네 시네드야레스
Right. Yes. Yeah. So they need to, like if we, before we go to retreat to cultivate such calm abiding or to do the meditations. So this, we need to go through all these things, like in terms of where we meditate, and to making sure it's that as we discuss here, all these conditions are there. So which all makes easier, makes more favorable for one's meditation practice, and then as well as then we need to know beforehand, like in terms of when we begin the meditation. So there are also we need to know all those how we sit, like a physical postures, and what is the right posture, and so forth.
Tendizo pade zanani shine gane thagala supa ne ramba jitani so onan to pate chi yesarwa.
And then of course after when we begin the we also need to prepare ourselves with all the understanding, all the knowledge of what we have to do in the meditation practice, and the how in this practice, as we go through various stages, and then how if we what we need to do, and also understanding what stages we are up to, and so there's a lot to once we have all this preparation, and then of course the only thing we left is just to begin the practice and make an effort. Yes.
제장하다 든지 도드나 든지 다 글라테네 니 피 무게 미파 가를 저거나 다때 미파텔라 소소 가세 빈념바 연인데나 든지 인주 터바다 인주 터번 주발라 텔라 테네 세도 로포트 강에메와 아니 대화지 용거에서 놈마 주파 텔라 테네 아니 디네 가서니 아니 이신은 저는 거에서 레스로와
So as mentioned earlier, so the from the beginning, so the to the last stage, so where we gain this state of calm abiding. So we go through the stage of the 9 stages of the the mental abidings, and then when we gain the actual state of calm abiding, then as we briefly discussed before, then we can we reach to the single pointed state of meditation. So where and we can where there's it becomes there's no need of no requirement of any effort and to remain in that state, as long as we wishes, and furthermore, there's when we stay there, while in that state of calm abidings, so of course there's no it gives us a deep sense of the bliss and the fluencies, and so therefore someone who is in this who have gained the calm abiding state of meditations, so for that the meditation experience is all it is just it's a very extremely like a blissful one, and so there's whatsoever there's no room for feeling like a bored or losing one's interest and so on. Okay, so we'll leave the tonight's teaching here and do dedication.